Hi everyone, it's Nika again, and you're welcome to part 2 of I Said Yes. In part 1, I talked about building a relationship with myself. There's so many things that this has done for me. It's helped me in my relationship with God, in my relationship with my family and my friends, in my relationships with other people, at work, and in other parts of my life. But most importantly and most significantly, it has helped me create healthy boundaries and take better care of myself and manage my stress and just improve my overall well-being. And that's what I'll be talking about today. In an ideal world, everyone knows their rights and respects the rights of others. Boundaries are clear and people give you what you deserve without you having to ask for it, and vice versa. But our world is far from ideal. Many people believe that life is a game and you have to fight. It's like fighting for survival is in every decision that they make. Some people are hurt and they go around not knowing what they need or what to ask for or what they deserve. Some people are hurt and go around hurting other people. In a world like this, even in places that are safe and even with the best people, we may knowingly or unknowingly, even if it's occasionally, treat each other badly. Like we treat each other less than ideal, we disrespect ourselves mentally. We get angry and emotions get in the way and we do or say things that are not fair or not respecting people's boundaries. And it's tough. It's a tough world. Especially for people who are empathetic, people who are vulnerable, wear their heart on their sleeve. It could be hard going around the world just giving and not knowing when to demand and protect your space because it's stressful and bad for your physical health, bad for your mental health, and bad for your well-being. The most important thing in setting these boundaries is valuing yourself, listening to yourself, making sure that you're letting in only that which is healthy for you. And you won't be able to do that if you're not already established that relationship with yourself that is healthy and kind and has compassion. It's your responsibility to take care of yourself and set those boundaries because no one else can do it for you. You're your own advocate. Once that is clear, you need to now use the tools to make sure that you're doing the right thing and protecting yourself. Yes and no. Simple. Right? Not really. Would you be able to do that for me? No. Yes, I can. Sure, but tomorrow. I'm sorry, I won't be able to do that. Sounds pretty straightforward, but it's not. Because these situations come with uncomfortable emotions. People get disappointed when you tell them no. People get angry sometimes because of the expectations of you. So when you say no to set boundaries, you're actually going to have to deal with the emotions of other people and also your emotions as you react to them. You're not always comfortable when people that you care about get angry, or people who are your superiors get angry with you. People that you love get disappointed in you because you have said no to protect your boundaries. It wouldn't always feel good, but that temporary stress will prevent you from having more long-term stress of always just taking on things because of other people without thinking about yourself. One of the situations, the best situation for me to explain personally is work. At work, I've had to learn how to say no early in my career because it got to a point where my well-being was affected by the amount of work I would take on and because of how I would like to do my work to the best way possible. So I started to say no, and it was very hard saying no to some people because of how much respect and care I had for them and because I also saw them struggling with work. We were all struggling. But after a while, people got more comfortable with hearing no from me because they knew that when I said yes, I did it in the best way that I could. And when I said no, I was going to stand by my no, and I wasn't saying it out of malice or out of because I didn't want to help. It's just because I couldn't. My hands were full. And that short-term discomfort of initially learning how to say no paid off in the long run for me. But then sometimes the person you have to say no to is yourself. I also realized that sometimes it wasn't anybody giving me more work to do. It was just, well, this is how I like to do it. Oh, should be more aligned. I could add a few more slides, I could have done this in a different way. Well, let me try this. And I'm neglecting other parts of my life. I'm neglecting other things that need me and focusing on getting this work or this deliverable to a certain level. Neglecting sleep. And that brings me to self-care. The time when the person you have to say no to is yourself. You need to choose your responsibilities. You can't do it all. Delegating, letting other people do the work. Because the work other people can do, but nobody can take care of you. Only you can take care of yourself. So I needed to learn to say no to myself. Self-care here, I'm not talking about caring for yourself physically alone, eating right and doing exercise. Help me, God. But those are important. I'm talking about managing your energy, resting, investing in other parts of your life, giving time to the relationships that build you and make worth all the more worth it. Living a life full of joy and enjoyable things. Play. Go out and enjoy yourself. That's what I'm talking about when I say self-care. We only have a limited time every day, and we need to allocate and prioritize caring for ourselves so that we have the energy to do other things and to do our work and give our best selves at work. And I realized that having the conversation with myself, telling myself no, is actually more difficult than telling other people no. But it has to be deliberate. Rest has to be part of your to-do list. I think another thing here is talking about, for well-being, is knowing when to get help, knowing when you need additional resources, knowing when you need a support group or a peer group or even therapy, being able to reach out, looking inward and saying, Nika, you can do this and this, but you can't do this. You need help here. That's another thing that really helps with making sure that your well-being is prioritized. And as you're doing your work and giving your best, you're living a rounded and full life. All that being said, yes, you set your boundaries. Yes, you're caring for yourself. There are going to be times when you can't just say no. You have a sick family member that needs you, and you have to continuously provide for them. You have a family member who's lost and troubled. Maybe the person has an addiction, and you need to care for them because you love them, and you need to pull them back and make sure they're found, and you need to pray for them and continuously just be present. Or you have a project at work that demands you to put in extra hours because it's big and it's purposeful and it's going to change the game. You need to be extra exerting of yourself. I think at this moments where we can't say no, we just need to understand that it means we have to even more importantly prioritize our self-care. It's counterintuitive to many people, but the more challenging life becomes, the more deliberate you have to be about self-care and stepping back and resting and breathing, because you can't give from a vessel that is empty. And even if you don't think about yourself, the people who depend on you need to depend on someone who's dependable. You're not dependable if your mental, physical health are not getting stronger, if they're getting weaker. A broken person can't help them the way that a full and complete person can. And in this challenging time, self-care actually is very important. I'm going to stop here. And I'm just going to summarize and say, healthy boundaries are your responsibility to yourself. Use your words. Understand that it will be stressful mildly. You would sweat and you would shake. But get used to saying no to things that you need to say no to. And when you say yes, understand that you're saying it because you've cleared it with yourself first. Care for yourself. Sometimes you need to say no to yourself. And when things get tough and challenging, remember to take a step back and care for yourself. Thank you for listening. Have a blessed week.